I am John Luis Corpus from Section Sony, and I am here with
Irish and Rain Albertia.
to talk about how social media engagement affects our mental health. Please keep your answers short so we stay within our 5 minute limit. Okay, now let's start with our first question. Can you describe your usual experiences with social media in your daily life?
I usually use social media when it comes to relaxation. I use it for entertainment purposes.
Okay, thank you for that answer. Let's move on to our second question. How has social media use affected your feelings or emotions as a student, both in positive and negative ways?
I think social media has affected me in a positive way because it allows me to interact with friends even when we're far apart. Especially now that I have junior high school friends that I don't get to talk a lot more often. We chat and we call, so that really makes me happy. But I think negatively, it also affects me when I spend too much time on social media because it takes a hit on my productivity. So it leaves me feeling left behind.
That was a very nice answer. Let's move on to our third question. How does social media influence the way you see yourself or how you feel about your self-worth?
I think social media before, especially when I was younger, I was less mature. So everything that I would see on social media kind of affected my self-image. Anything that I saw, especially people my age, I wanted to have what they were having. I wanted to look how they looked like. But I guess as I grew older, that feeling disappeared and mindset that social media is kind of just a place where people post their pleasing highlights where no one is really true to themselves.
That was another nice answer. Let's move on to our fourth question. Can you share what you usually feel when you see your classmates or friends posting their achievements or milestones online?
I feel very happy. I usually am the one encouraging my friends to do good, especially when it comes to their academics. So when I see their hard work pay off and I see them post their achievements like honors or stuff like that, extracurriculars, I'm the kind of person who reaches out to them and says congratulations.
Another nice answer. Let's move on to our last and final question. When social media causes you stress, worry, or sadness, what do you usually do to handle or cope with those feelings?
Social media usually gives me negative emotions because usually when I'm scrolling, I do it for entertainment, but sometimes I see very devastating news. Um, I think it's a bad habit, but whenever I see like bad news, I tend to just scroll and ignore it because I don't want to get stressed. But in the occasion that happens that I already read the news, I just try to think of something positive that I can do to help.
Okay. Well, that wraps up our questions. Thank you for those wonderful questions.
Thank you
Thank you
so
for your
much.
time, your insights. Really appreciate you answering our questions for our research. That's it. Thank you, Irishan. Have a great day.
First of all, thank you for joining. Thank you for participating in this interview. And let me introduce myself first. My name is Kimberly Busamante. And what is your name, po?
Real Marico.
Okay. Okay. Let's welcome our participants. And I would like to ask you questions regarding our research. So, can you describe your usual experiences with using social media?
I usually check social media a few times a day, mostly to keep us with my friends, watch short videos, or see what's trending something. I use it to relax or pass time when I'm bored.
Um, how has social media use affect your feeling or your emotions as a student, both in positive and negative ways?
Social media has had both positive and negative effect on me. On the positive side, it's helped me to stay connected with friends and discover new ideas or content that inspire me. On the negative side, it's some things make me feel overwhelmed or left Let out when I see other doing things I can do or achieving things I haven't yet.
Okay. How does social media influence the way you see yourself or you feel about your self-worth?
Sometimes makes me question my self-worth, especially when I compare myself to others who seem more successful, attractive, or popular online.
Okay. Can you share what you usually feel when you see your classmates or friends posting achievements or milestones online?
Sorry. When I see my classmates or friends post about their achievements, I feel happy for them, but I sometimes also feel a little insecure or behind. It makes me reflect on my own progress and wonder if I'm doing enough.
Okay. When social media causes you stress, worry, or sadness, what do you usually do to handle your cope with these feelings?
When social media starts affecting my mood, I try to take a break from it for a while. I also remind myself that what I see online isn't the full pictures of someone's life, taking to a close friends, or doing something offline like going to play offline games, listening to music, or read Wattpad.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is John Luis Yugarpus from Section Sony, and I'm here with
Principada from grade 11 Sony.
to talk about how social media engagement affects our mental health. Please keep your answers short so we stay within our 5 minute limit. Okay, now let's start with the first question. Can you describe your usual experiences with social media in your daily life?
It's it's fun and entertaining for me.
Thank you. For our next question. Thank you. For our next question. How has social media use affected your feelings or emotions as a student, both in positive and negative ways?
On the positive ways, social media affected my emotion on the algorithm that my feed has because sometimes ang mga lumalabas sa feed ko is about cooking, vlogs, and I guess that really affects my emotion in a positive way because I get entertained and knowledgeable about different things. But on the other hand, for the negative ways, if I saw something that is against my beliefs, nagtitend ako na parang ma-trigger yung emotions ko, para magalit ako. And I guess ayun yung nakaka-apekto sa emotion ko negatively.
That was a wonderful question. Let's move on to our third question. How does social media influence the way you see yourself and how you feel about your self-worth?
That's an interesting question because if I saw someone that is much attractive than me, I tend to question my self-worth always. Because kapag may mas maganda sa akin, tinatanong ko sa sarili ko na, do I look like her? Do I stand with her sa ganda niya or sa gwapo na meron siya? And I guess that affected how I perceive myself. Kasi parang, di sabi ko, oh my God, ganun ba ako kapangit na parang di ko sila ka-level? So, I guess that's one.
Okay, that was a very wonderful question again. I mean answer. For the third question, for the fourth question rather, can you share what you usually feel when you see your classmates or friends posting achievements or milestones online?
Um, I get really proud of them and happy because having a milestone is not easy. So, I guess happy and proud.
Again, another wonderful question from Prince Rivada. Let's move on to our last and final question. When social media causes you stress, worry, or sadness, what do you usually do to handle or cope with those feelings?
If the stress that I'm feeling from social media is a lot to handle for me, I guess the best thing that I could do or that I do is to deactivate my account because in that way, parang malilesen ko yung stress na makukuha ko from that and parang meron akong isi-set na time limit kung kailan ko lang siya pwedeng buksan para naman kapag bumalik ako doon, positive na yung makukuha ko.
Okay, that wraps up our questions for this day. Thank you for your wonderful questions and your time and insights with this topic. We really appreciate your help with our research. And so that's it. Have a great day, Prince Rivada. Bye.
Kompleto pre. Good day. I'm Adrian Felix Mena, a grade 11 student. Thank you for agreeing to participate in this interview. Don't worry, your answers and personal information will be kept safe. Before we begin, can you please introduce yourself?
So I'll start with my name. My name is Prince Hector Melo Gabriel, and I'm currently studying at GFA in grade 11 LinkedIn.
Thank you. And now let's proceed to questions. Can you describe your usual experiences with social media in your daily life?
Well, as usual, I'm just sharing posts of others, and I think it's a great way to kill time.
Um, how has social media use affected your feelings or emotions as a student, both in positive and negative ways?
Well, first, on the positive side, I think it's a great way to gather information about studies and a source of entertainment for my daily routine. Then on the other hand, we have the negative sides. It is when I compare myself to others because I see their posts achieving high honors or any achievements.
How does social media influence the way you see yourself or how you feel about your self-worth?
Well, as I say, I often compare myself to others, so I just can't help it. So I'll say it affects me negatively.
Can you share what you usually feel when you see your classmates or friends positive posting achievements or milestones online?
Well, on my side, I'm really happy for them. But when I see myself, I just ask myself if what if I can achieve what they achieved too. So I'll compare myself to the others.
Okay. When social media causes you stress, worry, or sadness, what do you usually do to handle or cope with those feelings?
Well, simple as closing the application, then going outside for or to ride my bike if it's not raining.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and experiences. Your answer will really help us in our study. I appreciate your time and honesty. So,